uh, we have got the information that teaching language through literature is interesting. Whether that is literature is the definition of literature, we have seen that that is the literature. Any written text can be the literature. That means the description uh, uh, on the on the box or the packet of a medicine, you see the instruction when to take the medicine and when not to take the medicine. How frequently you have to take this medicine. That is the literature of the medicine. That is the literature of the medicine. In case of buying a computer or the laptop, there will be there will see the manual, how to use that laptop, how to use the computer. That is the literature of that text. But here, teaching language through literature, that is a different kind of literature. That literature, that is the genre, that is the creative genre, that we have got the information or the definition, but the Ezra found. That means that is thought-provoking. That is poetry, drama, fiction, non-fiction, critical essays. So that would be the literature. And uh, when the literature will be used in case of language learning, that will be a debate whether it will be beneficial or not. But after observing the several debates, it has been observed that impl implementing literature in language classes in worthwhile, and it would be helpful for the learners. How? Teaching language through literature is a popular technique used in foreign language classroom. It involves using literary texts such as poetry, short fiction, drama, novels to teach basic language skills like reading, writing, listening, and speaking, as well as vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. There are several reasons why literature used in language classes. Firstly, it exposes students to different genres of literature and helps develop their literary competence. Literary competence, whenever the student will try to understand the difference between novel and drama, difference between poetry and prose, then they will develop their understanding in the target language. If you study the difference between these several kinds of genre or the literature that is like prose and poetry, then you will be understanding and you will have the literary competence, how you can make the difference. And of course, it can make the presentation orally, or you can write it down. So your creative your writing capability and your speaking capability will be developed. Secondly, it benefits language teaching by making more engaging and enjoyable for the students. Okay, so poetry, blow gently over my garden, wind of the southern sea, in the hour my love comes and calls me. Okay, so the tone, the motif, these are the four lines taken from a poem written by John Donne. So whenever you will be reciting a poem, emotion will be there. You will be feeling happy. Old, busy fool, unruly sun, don't disturb hearts. Okay, so these are the beginning line of a poem of John Donne, that is the sun rising. So whenever you will be reading literature, you will feel happy. That will give you pleasure. So literature reading is a pleasurable activity. So when you read something that will make you happy, that then that it means that you are exposed to accept a thing, accept the language. And for this reason, that literature, implementation of literature in language classes is enjoyable, and the student will enjoy, and so the student will learn from the things of the target language quite efficiently. However, there are some challenges that language teachers may face when teaching language through literature. These include a lack of preparation for the literature teaching, absence of clear objectives, and a lack of appropriate materials will be there. The what text will be here in the video clip you have got. Then is okay. When what materials you will choose for which class? Observing the necessity of the students, observing the capability of the learners, you have to choose the materials. If you are supposed to teach in class 4 or 5 students, then you have to choose different materials. And if you are supposed to teach in higher secondary or in graduate classes, then you have to choose the materials in a different way. But it is worthwhile. It is important that if you can apply the exact materials in the language classes, abject literature in the language classes, that will be an effective way of teaching and learning language. Teaching language through literature, sorry. Uh, Children's literature is particularly important for language development and communication skill. It provides opportunities for students to engage in listening, speaking, reading, and writing activities. Actually, in nursery classes and in the lower classes, you see the nursery rhymes. Why? Nursery rhymes, they are the part of literature. They are the part of poetry. Okay, so there will be a rhythm. The student will memorize the rhythm and also they will enjoy. Okay, several rhythms are the twinkle, twinkle, little star. So the way they will be speaking, they will be reading the poem. So that activities will make the children happy and they will learn the language, that is the target language, while also exposing them in a real life values and stimulating their interest in literature. Teaching literature can be challenging, especially when it comes to develop the critical and creative potential of the students. Okay. Yes. Creative, actually, many methods we have gone through. That is, that with the creative knowledge or the cognitive knowledge will be broadened under whenever you will going through a learning approach or methods or a psychological theory or any theory. In case of applying literature in language classes, the learners will broaden, will gauge their criticality broaden, will their thinking power will be broadened. Okay, so that can be called a reader response theory. After getting a poem, after reading a poem, 10 students can explain it in 10 different ways. Same poem, written by same author, that single poem can be explained in 10, even 10 millions multiple ways. That is called a reader response theory. So that criticality is the criticality of the specific students. That is gone, that is gained from applying the specific poem in a language classes. So the criticality and the creative potentiality will be enriched in case of applying language literature in language classes. However, there are strategies and the teachers can use to connect literature to students' lives and the world around them. By doing so, teachers can promote literature appreciation and enhance students' language proficiency. So the Learning Language Arts Through Literature program is a comprehensive language arts program that integrates language skill with quality literature. It aims to make reading more attractive to students by using real books instead of basal stories. Okay, actually, real books. That means whenever you will write a sentence following a structure. That means if you teach the basic structure of simple sentence, subject, verb, object, then we use the common sentence that we play football. We play football. So subject, verb, object. But in case of if we apply a sentence taken from a specific fiction or a poem, and if we can identify the subject, verb, and noun from that line of that poem, that would be more effective. Okay, so this approach helps students develop a deeper understanding of grammar, writing mechanics, vocabulary, spelling, and other language skills. The program is easy to use with teachers' book available for each grade level, students' activity book from grade 1 to 8. It also includes the review activities and assessment to track students' progress. The program's goal is to equip students with the necessity of language skill for effective communication through their lives. So teaching language through literature has many benefits for the student. It makes language learning more fun and interactive, allowing students to express their opinions and engage in discussion on the interesting and sometimes controversial topic. Okay, so all topic of the literature may not be engaged, may not support, may not be supported by all students. Okay, the role of fate in Sophocles' Oedipus. Okay, some will say that fate cannot be eradicated, but some will say, okay, Oedipus could overcome the fact. So there might be a debate. Whenever there will be a debate, the criticality will be improved. And it is possible for only it is possible only by applying literature in language classes. Literature also helps students develop their listening, speaking, and reading and writing skill by exposing them to different sentences, structure, and new vocabulary. Additionally, literature appeals to students' emotion and imagination and making it more appealing and memorable than referential language. By using literature in the classroom, teachers can create a euphoric learning experience for students and foster their intellectual and emotional growth. Okay, so that is the thing of applying literature in languages classes. So in conclusion, we can say that using literature in language classes is important and necessary, because if we apply literature in language classes, students' interest will grow and students will try to understand a thing more deeply, and they will develop their criticality, because through the reader response theory, the learners will get authentic materials in spite of the artificial language materials. They can improve their speaking, reading, writing, and creative capability. So, using literature in language classes is important. But there is a challenge in this using literature in language classes. That is, which literature you will be included in which classes. That arises a question. So if you can determine that, determine the level and the capability of the learners, we can apply the literature more appropriately in languages classes, and that will always be helpful. Okay, so that is about the topic, that is teaching language through